Okay, we're back. So moving right along, for this first episode, I thought it would be a good faith gesture for us to lay our cards on the table out here, to stand naked before you, and to read through our top 5 films of all time list. I think this kind of disclosure will let you all come to know exactly where we stand and will perhaps provide you with further justification as to why we hold certain films near and dear to our hearts. Now, I do need to preface this by saying that my top 5 list is not by any means the definitive list. It changes periodically depending on, you know, different factors. Anything from what's going on with world affairs to what's going on with the women in my life or whatever psychological disorder I happen to be dealing with at any given time.
Oh boy.
You know, take for example, 10 years ago, I was at this Boz Scaggs show in Fresno. I ended up eating a ½ ounce of field caps that I bought off some transient kid behind a corn dog stand. I got so spun out of my mind that the only thing that made any sense to me at all was the film Patch Adams. I watched this thing over and over and over. I mean, I'm talking for weeks until I had become something akin to Robin Williams' disciple, or like he was the Don Quixote to my Sancho Panza.
Okay.
Right? It's hard to explain, but it was like with each viewing, he was leading me out of this maze of confusion I was in. I felt like he was guiding me to the light, as if to say, everything is going to be okay, brother. Patch knows the way out, buddy. So I know I'm digressing. I've got Sloan shaking his head over here, but really, the profundity of that event, of being able to experience Patch Adams on that level, is what has held it at the number 2 spot for so long. So you get the picture. All right, here we go. Rick Coates' top 5. At number 5, we have Gigli.
Ah, Gigli. Great start.
Indeed. Highbrow comedies rarely mix well with Bush League gangster films, but when they do, you know you have something unique and special. Gigli is this kind of exception. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez give stunning tour de force performances as modern rogues operating on the wrong side of the law and love in this exquisitely crafted postmodern yarn. Can we run the clip from Gigli?
Sultan of slick. Sadie, I am the rule of fucking cool. You want to be a gangster? You want to be a thug?
Costuming's great.
You sit at my fucking feet. Gather the pearls that emanate forth from me. Because I'm the fucking original, straight, first, foremost, pimp, Mac, fucking hustler, original gangster's gangster.
So, released in 2003, Gigli flew largely under the radar, was lost on the critics and the public, and found itself the butt of some very cruel and unwarranted jokes. Its curse being that it simply was just too ahead of its time to be fully appreciated. Which is sad when you begin to think about all the men and women who worked so hard to bring this modern masterwork to the screen, their contributions going largely unnoticed. But now that some time has passed and mainstream America has started to become far more discriminating in its demand for high-quality entertainment, this film has emerged from the netherworld to become the definitive exploration of postmodern love in a disquieted age of confusion and uncertainty.
Wow.
Having finally found its rightful place among the classics, Gigli truly delivers something special for everyone. Okay, now let's see. At number 4, we have John Q.
Wow.
You like John Q. I do too. You know, when this was released, I knew it was going to be something special, something that would resonate with American audiences for years to come. And as it turns out, I was right.
You were right.
All right, Sloan, can we run the clip? Great. Oh, action. Nice.
Wow.
And this is for calling me a bitch!
I felt that.
It's palpable.
It really
I'm
is.
not gonna be your Barbie anymore.
Damn, baby. All that ass and muscles to go with it. I knew damn well you wasn't no blonde. I know your motherfucking brother.
So, before healthcare became as heavily politicized as it is now, it was Denzel who had the foresight and wherewithal to see where this country was headed. When he declares free healthcare for everybody, you just cannot help but feel it tug at your heartstrings. I mean, I stood up in the theater and I chanted it with him, even though there were people around me who were clearly annoyed. That's how moved I was. And you know, there are some who would say this kind of oversimplified presentation borders on crude sentimentality, to which I say, no, you're wrong. This film is as true to life as anything ever will be. It's prescient, it's poignant, it's John Q. And perhaps that's why it's destined to be forever on my number 4.
Nicely put, Rick.
Okay, number 3. At number 3 is Lethal Weapon 4. Did we get a clip for this one?
Riggs!
Oh, I love
Look,
this scene.
maybe these guys can contribute something to this
There's
case.
so much going on.
From what I've seen of their
It's hard to
records, the only
focus.
thing they do contribute is mayhem and chaos.
No, I'm chaos and he's mayhem. We're a double act.
What are we, required reading or something?
As a matter of fact, you are. It's a cross between Police Gazette and Mad Magazine.
What's wrong with Mad Magazine?
Oh, nothing. I used to read it myself.
Oh, well, yeah, you got some taste. You got some good taste, huh?
When I was 12.
When you...
Hey, Riggs,
Get out of here. Let's go.
we busted him. We can talk.
You see what I mean? Now, sometimes people give me a hard time about this, saying, well, what about Lethal Weapon 3 or 2 or even the first one? My response to that is, look at the evolution of these films. Do you not see the progression? I've case studied this film in my classes as one that proves that a fourth sequel can, in many instances, far exceed the merits of its predecessors, both from the standpoint of storytelling and from the standpoint of pure aesthetics. You know, cinematography, art direction, and so on. So, to clarify, when I put a film like Lethal Weapon 4 on my list, up on my pedestal, I am really acknowledging the whole Lethal Weapon saga. 4 just as a symbol of the overall achievement.
And what a stellar achievement indeed.
Oh, I agree. So, at number 2, we have Patch Adams, which I already covered. We don't need to go over that again, do we?
Well, I mean, if you want to. I mean, it's on my top 5 too, so, I mean, we could touch on it then, if you want.
All right, let's do that then. Okay,
Okay.
good. So, that takes us to number 1. Drum roll, please. Do we have, oh, the suspense, Michael. Yes, Michael. Just, amazing,
They did a great job on the wings.
amazing. The way he cradles the, so nice. Just feel the passion. This choice probably doesn't come as a surprise to those of you who know me. I certainly showed little restraint in my praise of everything Travolta. I've even gone so far as to profess my belief that there was a dark period in this nation's history when Travolta wasn't getting the kind of roles that he deserved. And consequently, there were many of us who underwent a tremendous amount of suffering and despair, coupled with feelings of loss and hopelessness. It was, I mean,
You okay?
you know, it was just a hard time.
I understand.
I'm sorry. But anyway, his reemergence into the spotlight with Pulp Fiction in 1994 was long overdue. Even though I found that particular film not to be his strongest. I don't even remember who directed it or what it was about, but it did mark the comeback for all the success that followed. I mean, you had Phenomenon, Battlefield Earth, the Face Off, Lucky Numbers, The General's Daughter. I mean, really, too many to list here. And all of this leads me to my next thing. A shameless plug, I know, but it's something I have to do. Okay. All right. So, is this something we can get a zoom in on? All right. This is a book I recently authored. It was the continuation of a failed dissertation I was trying to put together for my PhD. Now, that didn't really work out, unfortunately. But this man was someone I've always felt strongly about. So it's called Travolta, From Light to Darkness, Back to Light. And it's a great read, if I do say so myself.
It's a great picture as well.
Oh, I know. It's amazing. It's on the back, too. It's great. Now, this book traces Travolta's rise to stardom in the 1970s, which crescendos with Staying Alive in '83.
Right.
And then follows his descent into relative obscurity, which created this dreadful period of my life, which I was just talking about. But I think what makes this account particularly unique is that it really looks at Travolta the man and his existential dilemma, not just as actor, but as husband, son, father, saint, and soothsayer. And I make a hard argument for people to reconsider conventionally established notions of him as being hog fuck crazy. I mean, we as human beings with flaws do tend to confuse genius with insanity.
This is true.
And I'm just going to leave it at that. So hopefully you can find this wherever good books are sold. Okay, so that's the list. Those are my top 5. I know that everyone has differing tastes on this sort of thing. So we respect differing opinions here on Film Companions.
We do.
But as I often say, to each their own. Isn't that right, Sloan?
That's what we say.
Yep. I mean, you like what you like, I like what I like, and we can agree to disagree.
That's right.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn now?
It is, Dave, but we got to run this sponsor reel here again. So.
Oh, all right then. Well, we'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back.